I don't know if that video quality is exactly the best right now. Hello. How's it going, everybody? Sorry, for some reason, like the settings are not really quite where I want them to be right now. Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. Well, I hope it's not poor quality. I'm sure you guys will let me know if it is. But how's it going, everybody? How are we all doing today or tonight? Whatever it might be for everybody here. One of those, I'm sure. Oops. Well, that's great. That's a great way to start. I don't know if playing Minecraft is exactly the best thing to do right now, if I'm being honest. I don't think I'm getting okay, well, I guess like the connection is healing, I suppose. It's healing. Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of like doing some Minecraft stuff off camera currently. And yeah, that's what I was doing. Might not do Minecraft stuff. I might call it quits with the Minecraft stuff right now. We'll go ahead and do that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get you guys pulled up again. There we go. Bloop. Okay. There. I just don't think the Minecraft was going to work out, so I'm just going to go ahead and just pull this up. All right. How are we doing, everybody? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I figured that I'd start a live because I don't know how many of you were here for the previous live, but I believe that my daughter might have started a live when I was in the living room trying to figure something out, and now I feel bad. So I decided to start another live. Is what we're doing. What happened today? Live, your daughter was crying. Yep, 2-year-olds do that a lot. My daughter specifically, she like I'm not going to get into details, but there was like an issue happening in the kitchen in the living room, and my daughter wanted to walk up to it, but we didn't want her to walk up to it because it's not really safe. You know, like what we were working on wasn't really safe. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like not going where she can't go or where she wants to go. So she cries because she's 2. 2-year-olds cry a lot. It might sound bad, but you know, they cry a lot. So that is what is happening. And yes, I am a father. Every time I say that, every time I mention that or something, there's always people who are surprised. It's very crazy. It's very, very crazy. I still don't understand why it's not getting as good a video. Sorry if the quality is kind of low right now. I don't know why it's having issues. But yeah, that's for some reason it doesn't look like I'm getting that good of a quality in terms of the video. So I apologize if that's like something that's happening to everybody right now. Do I remember playing Dinosaur World Mobile on a live stream? Because in your current interpretations, you said you haven't played it. Yeah, you were probably someone commented that. I didn't remember that I had played it because that day that I played it, I was playing all kinds of Roblox games, and I didn't really remember most of them. But I think I do remember it now that I'm like really thinking about it. Because if it was one that had good models, then I can probably pinpoint which one it was, and I do remember it. Heard her scream again? Yeah, exactly. That's just normal toddler stuff. It's high quality for you. That's good. It keeps telling me that it's not like it says poor connection. I don't know why. I'll leave the topic. That was me when your username was different. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do remember. I just didn't remember at the time. What got an environment update? And Karkar Dinosaurs remodels. What's that? What's that? I don't think I see it. Okay. Well, have you seen dinosaur models for prior extinction on Roblox? Yes, I have. I've actually I've talked about them a little bit, like a couple of times on the many interpretations of. They're pretty good though. I really like them. I really like them. What's my daughter's favorite dinosaur? She doesn't have a favorite yet, but she really likes she she likes to grab, of course, the figures from the shelf and everything. She well, she likes Tyrantrum. I can tell you that. That's one that she likes. Is that the Disney Carnotaurus in your display? Yes, it is. Well, it's the Rebor. It's obviously modeled off of that specific Carnotaurus. I love it. It's very, very cool. There's a really cool dinosaur game you should check out, and just type in dinosaur games, and then there should be one with the orange eyes and green skin. It's very fun. That would be on Roblox, I assume. Is it okay for me to make fan art? Of course, yeah. All kinds of people have made fan art. It's awesome. Always really cool to see. What was my favorite species from Primitive War? Probably the Utah Raptor. Well, yeah, probably the Utah Raptor. I thought it was a pretty good depiction overall. There's a lot of misconceptions on whether reptiles are closer to mammals or amphibians. But what do you think, Dino Guy? So, the lineage that eventually saw the rise of reptiles did branch off from the lineage that eventually saw the rise of mammals, if you want to consider that. But I do believe that they are probably closer to. I can't remember what they. It's been a while since I've looked at a specific phylogenetic tree that's specifically talked about that. Let me check real quick. But the diapsids and synapsids branched off from each other, but that was 350 million years ago. Uh, yeah, it looks like reptiles are closer to amphibians, I think. Yeah, looks like it. Okay. I'm gonna have to study that a little bit more just to make sure I'm more certain. But Cyclops is your favorite? That's a good favorite. Cyclops is quite awesome. Can you make a video or maybe talk about the Spinosaur tooth that has been discovered back in 2014? The Spinosaur tooth. There's a lot of Spinosaur teeth. Is there like any specific one? Because I don't know of any like huge ones from 2014. Because Spinosaur teeth, like dinosaur teeth in general, are pretty common. I'm not too sure. Primitive War is still not in theaters. That's been pretty frustrating because I do want more people to watch it, but obviously it's been in limited theaters, so not everybody's been able to watch it, which is pretty unfortunate. You got a Spino tooth in Lyme Regis. That's awesome. It's my favorite species from the Jurassic franchise. That's a good question. I love the Suchomimus. I loved the way that, like, I loved its design and I loved its portrayal in Chaos Theory. So I think I'm maybe Suchomimus. I thought it was pretty decent portrayal. Hey Dino guy, I hope you're well. I forgot their name, but some generous soul donated $50 to you on your accidental stream from earlier. Thought it was important for you. Well, yeah, I didn't know that. Well, shoot. Well, hopefully they come back onto the stream so I could thank them. That's awesome. I didn't know that someone did that. Shoot. Now I feel even more bad. Spicomelis, any thoughts on it? Yeah, Spicomelis is the way that I've always described it when talking about people is it looks like an actual, like a real life arc design. Because you know how in Ark they always exaggerate things like spikes or osteoderms to make the dinosaur look a lot more rugged and everything like that, and more stylized for the game. That's exactly what Spicomelis looks like because it just has like a collar of spikes and it's such a strange animal. It also has like spikes on its ribs. It's so cool. Uh, yeah, that's how I always describe it to everybody, to anybody that I'm talking to about it. Which game is your favorite, Path of Titans or The Isle? Out of those two, I think I prefer Path of Titans. I think that it's just easier for me to play that game and relax and just have fun. The Isle can sometimes get a little bit like lengthy and stressful. No, don't freeze. Oh, it didn't freeze. That was weird. I don't know why I did that. Do you know of any dinosaur fossils that have been found in Northern Europe, like in Scandinavia, if any? I probably do, but I'm not really too sure off the top of my head. I'm sure if I heard them, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's right. There's a cool dinosaur mod on the Minecraft marketplace called Primal Overworld. It has usual dinosaurs and it also has some really cool prehistoric plants. It has stuff like Sigillaria, etc. That's cool. I'll have to look into that. Talking about Jucheng Tyrannus. I think someone's talking about Jucheng Tyrannus. I really love how the design creatures for Ark, they're always so unique to look at. Yeah, I'm not crazy about a lot of them, but I think there's some pretty good designs there. How much is the 135 Beast of the Mesozoic T-Rex? So that I bought it at the museum that I volunteer at. I think I bought it for like 250. I think because it's been a little while, but that sounds about right. It was pretty pricey. I only recently started getting invested in paleontology. Would you recommend I must watch Jurassic movies or it doesn't matter? Well, I mean, you can watch them. Obviously, you can watch them, and they're still enjoyable movies. Just expect to not like learn anything substantial about the field of paleontology from those movies. They're just strictly mostly just entertainment. Like back in the day, the Jurassic franchise, the first 3 films, they did have a little bit more emphasis on actual facts over fiction. They still had fiction, but they had more of an emphasis on it. Nowadays, it doesn't happen as much. Nowadays, you get a movie where where the expert character calls a mosasaur a lizard, or calls the mosasaur a dinosaur, which is not true, of course. We need more dinosaur media, guys. Yeah, we do. I agree. What do I hope to see in Prehistoric Planet Ice Age? Australia. This is going to be taking place in the Pleistocene, hence the name Ice Age. Let's see Australia. Pleistocene Australia is awesome. You have Varanus priscus, aka Megalania. You have giant ground sloths. No, shoot, giant short-faced kangaroos. I don't know why I say ground sloths. The Thylacoleo. You have giant wombats that are not even wombats. It's a really, really fascinating point, and I hope that we at least get a little section dedicated to it. I hope so. I would love to see Megalania with good CGI, because Megalania has shown up in a lot of documentaries before, but the CGI in a lot of them is dated. You know, Prehistoric Planet has realistic looking CGI. I would love to see it. Oh, Animal Enjoyer, thank you so much for the donation. I'm dying to see Primitive War, but it's not available in Ireland. That is so unfortunate. I've heard that they've signed a deal with some some places across the pond, but I don't know where specifically. I hope that you get to see it eventually. Hopefully, like if not in theaters, hopefully it'll come out on streaming or uh, you know, streaming or whatnot. Physical release. Um, you hoping Imperabator won't be invalid? There's talks of it not being valid. I've been doing a lot of research on Osteoraptor, obviously, and there's a recent paper that came out last month that details how Imperabator and Osteoraptor both belong to the same family that are not dromaeosaurs. So I think that Imperabator is still very much valid, and I don't think there's any question on its validity. I think that the question is whether or not it's a dromaeosaur or if it belongs to this new proposed family. It's supposed to come out to other countries at some point. Hopefully. 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 Yeah. Animal Enjoyer. Hopefully. Primitive War was truly a blast. I hope it gets a sequel. I agree. I really want to see more of it because I had a lot of fun with it. We certainly need more movies like that, more dinosaur movies that are like that. I mean, like, they don't necessarily have to be rated R. We just need more movies that do something different. Do you have a degree in paleontology? No, I am currently in school. At least I'm trying to be. I'm currently setting up my courses for fall 2026. But we're working on it. But I do work in a museum, so there's that. I'm working around fossils and all that all the time. I have a feeling there's no media focused around any of the Paleozoic eras. It's kind of sad because of how weird it is. I agree, because like what? The biggest thing that we have is probably Walking with Monsters. It was pretty good. It was pretty decent all around. And obviously Prehistoric Park, we went to the Carboniferous, but there's definitely a lot more room for exploration. Have you seen Paleo Zookeepers Association video on Nanotyrannus? I have not seen that, no. How many push-ups could a T-Rex do, though? None, because T-Rex weighed several tons, and its arms are only capable of, like, bench pressing or, like, doing a dumbbell curl, like, of up to 400 pounds. So there's no way it can lift up its own body weight. Because, yeah, 400 pounds, that's a lot of weight, but that's nothing to a multi-ton theropod. Also, its arms are short, so I don't know if it would be able to reasonably do a good push-up. I love the Jurassic franchise. I grew up with it, but the current state of it is off the tracks. We need more. We need movies like Primitive War to have a refresher. I agree. I also think that we need more movies like Primitive War to keep the Jurassic franchise on its toes, because the Jurassic franchise, they start making bad decisions, and they feel like they can justify the bad decisions because those movies always do well. Like no matter what. So they eventually they're going to get to the mindset where they're like, we can just do anything and people will see it. And that's not good. That's not a good state for a franchise to be in. We need good quality movies from this franchise. We need a documentary about Concavinator, specifically about Concavinator, huh? That'd be interesting. A whole documentary about Carcharodontosaurus in general would be really cool. But T-Rex can still do squats. Yes, it can. Possibly. Yeah. Obviously not the way that we do them, but they need competition. Exactly. They do need competition. That is very much the case. I wish I could see Primitive War. What are your thoughts on it? It still hasn't arrived in theaters for me. Again, that is just so unfortunate. And I loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it was a great movie. I think it's a good, like, a really solid dinosaur movie that's just really fun, Aquilops from Rebirth looks freaking ugly. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Aquilops design. It didn't need a frill. Obviously, Aquilops doesn't have a frill in real life. Um, and I just think that Aquilops looks so unique. I thought that this little fella looked more like a baby Protoceratops. Like people would think it was a baby Protoceratops, or they would think that it was like a baby Triceratops or something. What is your favorite group of prehistoric creatures? Pterosaurs, dinosaurs, etc. So if we're talking like broad like clade, I think that obviously I love dinosaurs. I named myself Dino Guy. So we'll just say that dinosaurs are very, very fascinating to me. And obviously I grew up loving dinosaurs and I simply never grew out of it. I just I love other groups of animals too. Like pterosaurs are amazing. The marine lizards are amazing. All of the extinct mammals are especially amazing. I've been learning about them a lot and they are so fascinating. The museum I work at has like a whole like ice age dedicated area. So I've been having to learn more about them too, but they're just really fascinating. But I dinosaurs have a special place in my heart. I love looking back at older depictions of dinosaurs. It's such a different era of paleontology, and it's fascinating to look at, especially for someone young like me. I agree. I think that's always really fun. Like I have a few things that are similar to that. Like with dinosaur heresies or just like a history of dinosaurs in film. It's fascinating stuff to dive into. And you have more of an appreciation of where you are because of where you came from. And the way the dinosaurs were portrayed in the past, it really shows us how far we've come. And it's really cool stuff. A good theme for a paleontology film would be of humankind bringing prehistoric animals from the Cenozoic back to life, but everything goes wrong in the lab, so the workers need to find a way to escape. That would be cool. That'd be really cool. There's a lot of really cool animals you can work with that. Are you excited for Dinofax's upcoming dinosaur horror story? Oh yeah, yeah. Those are always a fun listen. What do you think about many dinosaurs being very underrepresented? There's going to be a lot of dinosaurs that will be underrepresented. We have well over 700, probably closer to over 1,000 identified species of non-avian dinosaurs. Chances are the majority of them will not make it to the big screen or even to the small screen. A lot of filmmakers, they try, and a lot of YouTubers or content creators, they'll give the spotlight to underrepresented dinosaurs quite frequently, but there's going to be a lot that will follow under the radar, especially considering the fact that a lot of them belong in families of dinosaurs that are pretty similar, like Dinosaurids. A lot of those fellas are very similar, so a lot of them do fall under the radar. Like, not a lot of people know about Mapusaurus, but a lot of people do know about Giganotosaurus, despite the fact that Mapusaurus is very similar to Giganotosaurus. But yeah, so chances are you're not going to see the vast majority of them. Do you know anything about the new spinal specimen OPH 2318? I do. I just don't talk about stuff until it's been published officially. But yeah. At least I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Are you going to watch the upcoming dinosaur short film called Nightfall? Yes, I believe I will. I think I've heard of that. I'll have to check it out when it comes out. Will Dakota Raptor still be a chimera? I have no idea. I have no idea. I've heard some things behind the scenes, but I can't talk about anything. Alamosaurus couldn't have been the only sauropod in late Cretaceous America, right? There's possibly other genera. Like North America wasn't exactly the best at preservation towards the end of the Cretaceous. Like there was a huge preservation bias when it comes to things being preserved there, which is why I don't think that it's always justified to say the T-Rex didn't have feathers just because they're skin imprints, because feathers are way more difficult to preserve than skin impressions. But yeah, there is possibly another sauropod that lived in North America towards the end of the Cretaceous. We just have yet to find it. Just as far as we know right now, Alamosaurus is the only one that we know of. Can you show off your Jurassic World the game park? I don't have much to show off in terms of it. I wonder, can I like, I want to try something real quick. I don't think I can. I don't think I can like, I'll try, but I don't think I can. Rate Rebirth out of 10. 6.5 to 7 is where I currently sit. No, I don't think I can. I'll just try that some other time. What dinosaur do you prefer? Brontosaurus or Torosaurus? Dude, I love ceratopsians, so I think Torosaurus. I think we'll take that route. Ceratopsians are so cool. Why does Ceratosaurus get bodied in every single dinosaur doc? Because it was the small theropod of the Morrison Formation. It was the small, big theropod, obviously. Like you have huge, you had huge ones like Torvosaurus, Allosaurus, Torvosaurus, and Allosaurus. And then you had Ceratosaurus that was relatively small. And so it was, for a lot of like earlier filmmakers, it was thought that it would be easy to kind of bully around, like bully a dinosaur like that. And yeah, sure, it could have happened from time to time, but you know, different niches and what. And niche partitioning is not really like an end all be all. Obviously, modern day environments don't really fit with that same code, but it does kind of explain why confrontations wouldn't happen as frequently. It's still very insane to think that they were able to discover the past, find so much, and kind of disappointing to how that we will never get to see the real ones. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. That's always really sad. It's like we have a lot of really fascinating things that once existed, but we'll never see them in the flesh. And that is really sad, obviously. Wow, bro, really? You just gonna ignore my comments, gonna gloss over them? Little thing, guys. If I don't respond, I'm not ignoring you. Let me look for your comment. I believe that dinosaurs, mammals, and humans coexisted. Okay, hear me out, guys. Earth before the Great Flood had dinosaurs, pterosaurs, mammals, etc., all coexisting with each other. Great times indeed. Well, dinosaurs and humans have always existed because birds are dinosaurs. So, yay. Who would win, Spino or Indom? I don't do fights. I'm assuming Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. Maybe the Spino. I don't know. The Indominus wasn't fully grown. If you had to pick between stem mammals and carboniferous insects, what would you pick? Oh, stem mammals. I love stem mammals. They are so cool. They're so cool. Like seriously, I don't know how many of you guys saw my short, but I'm currently rereading The Rise and Reign of Mammals, and obviously there's like a whole beginning portion that is dedicated to like stem mammals and the early mammal evolution, and it's so fascinating. It's really so fascinating. Criticized me because I got Dino Guy to play Dinosaur World Mobile. What prehistoric animal would I have as a pet? Simosuchus. I love Simosuchus. They're so cool. The pug-nosed croc. They're not crocodiles, but they are related to them, closely related to them. I was surprised to learn that in the early days of paleontology, dinosaurs were viewed as evolutionary failures. Boy, how wrong we were. Yeah, because the whole idea was like, well, obviously they weren't that great because they're all dead. So But obviously, yeah, like you said, times have changed, and extinction is a natural part of the world. You know that extinction does happen. Animals are gonna like they go extinct over time, whether through like either they just evolve or maybe a speed like an entire lineage just dies. That's just what happens. But yeah, they thought that they were like big dumb lizards that were destined for extinction, which is pretty sad to hear. What is your favorite dinosaur doc? Yours is a tie between Walking with Dinosaurs and Prehistoric Planet. Good choices. I think I agree with you with those choices. I love Prehistoric Planet, but I love Prehistoric Park. I grew up with that. It was so good. Nigel Marvin, it's awesome. Did you reverse the? Oh, hello, Lakota. How are we doing? Did you reverse the setup or is it just the camera? I have a new setup because we got carpet in the recording room, aka our bedroom. And so that gave us a chance to kind of like rearrange everything. And I chose an area that I thought I liked better. Like there's more like I have more of a wall over here. So I could put more of like my dinosaur stuff and my more of my books and all that back here. So we just kind of shifted things around. And my wife's desk it's currently over there. She has her workspace. So things are working good with that. Would you be against Colossal bringing back Dinosuchus? Excuse me. I would not be against it. I'm against Colossal in general. Well, I'm not really against Colossal. I'm against how they promote themselves, so to speak. Very nice. Looks great. Thank you. Thank you. I quite like it. It gives me more space overall. Plus, the new carpet's really nice. The old carpet was in here since the 90s. Obviously, the previous owner had that carpet in here, so it was needing a change. Are we frozen? No. Okay. So your daughter predicted the live. No, my daughter, she started. I guarantee she started the live because she likes whenever I'm not playing on my computer or whenever I'm not recording, she likes to sit up here and she likes to tap on the keyboard. Well, as I mentioned earlier, there was something I had to take care of in the living room and in the kitchen with like I had helped my wife with. I won't get into details, but while we were doing that, we had her in here because we didn't want her to, there was some dangerous things going on in there, like semi-dangerous, obviously. Um, so I left her in here with my recording all set up because I was recording something, and I think she clicked the start streaming button, and so then that all happened, and then I started feeling bad because I was like, well, shoot, all these people were on a live and they didn't even get a live, so now I'm live again. That was just a long-winded way of me explaining that I'm alive. I'm live again because I felt bad. Because I was not planning a stream today. I was planning on recording some more videos, and plus I have to record the podcast here in a little bit. But in fact, yeah, I gotta start the podcast here in a little bit. But yeah, that's my story. Can I ask how old you are? You never ask someone their age, but I'm 25. I was born in 2000. I'm a 2000 baby, guys. 2000 baby. Can you give me 4 random prehistoric animals to draw? Inostransavia, Simosuchus, Pachyrhinosaurus, and Hatzegopteryx. I hope that works. Dipod, yes, Dipod. I think we're probably going to record here pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken, if we do our usual time. Can you talk more about my favorite dinosaur in Jurassic World Evolution 2, Australovenator? Good choice. Australovenator is a Maniraptoran. They're really quite creepy dinosaurs, just in their overall slender build, and they also had like really long arms. Now, Australovenator was noted to have like a relatively weak bite force, but of course, huge arms with huge and powerful claws. So it seems likely they would prioritize using their claws when they were hunting over their bite, which I just think is really fascinating. You have to go to the store? Okay, we'll talk to you later. I think the stream froze for a second there. I apologize if anything cut out. Do I miss Blue Sky Studios? Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't like the later Ice Age films, but like the first 3 Ice Age films were a huge part of my childhood. So it was really kind of sad to see that or hear when Blue Sky Studios was shut down. Plus, not to mention everybody who likely lost their jobs after that happened. Pachyrhinosaurus is an underrated ceratopsian? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Although it's showing up a little bit more frequently nowadays, which is cool. I like that. Megaraptors, my personal nightmares, and for good reason. Path of Titans doesn't really help, you know? Got like mixtures of an elk bugle and hyena laughs. It's crazy stuff. I wish in another life there are zoos that exhibit carboniferous animals like what you're doing in Minecraft. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I quite like carboniferous animals. My mic is cutting out. Uh-oh. I'll try to fix it. Hopefully, it's not cutting out anymore. What's your opinion on When Dinosaurs Roamed America? I used to watch it all the time. That was a really fun documentary for me. It was really cool how it went through, you know, like the history of life beginning in the Triassic, going up, very similar to Walking with Dinosaurs. Can't hear me? Hello? Hello? Keeps cutting. Some people can hear me and some can't. I get I don't know. So yeah, okay. I got a few people who can hear me. Answer your question. What are your thoughts on speculative evolution dinosaur stuff like Keenan Taylor's Chimera and whatnot? I honestly like to believe that these fictional species were real, though. Though I believe. So I don't consume too much speculative evolution content. Recently, I did I did watch The Future is Wild, and I love that because it's free on YouTube. Go and watch it if you guys have not seen it. But The Future in Wild was pretty sick. And in the past, I have watched things like Alien Planet, but I don't know that stuff. But speculative evo, it's really cool. It's really cool. It cuts occasionally. Some people can hear me well. We had this issue last time, and I don't like making people do this, but sometimes the fix can be if like you leave the stream and come back. Is that the Hammond Collection spine on the background? Yes. Or yes. Hey Dino guy, I sent you a super chat during the accidental stream, but I hope it helps sponsor your How Long Good Brontosaurus. I appreciate that, man. Were you the one who sent the $50? Because someone was telling me about that. And if you are freaking awesome, dude. I seriously appreciate you. Helps fund my How Long Good Brontosaurus too, which yeah, that's true. That is true because I did say that I wanted to get that. I really appreciate that, man. Speculative evolution is one of your favorite things to do as a writing exercise? That's awesome, dude. What is your favorite carnivorous dinosaur? It's totally not Spino. Yeah, Spino. I won't choose Spino because everybody knows that. We'll go ahead and say that my favorite is Ceratosaurus. Excuse me. You think you're going to get yourself the PNSO Acro? I think that one looks pretty good if I remember correctly. Yo Dino guy, what's up? I've always wondered this. What species hunted Argentinosaurus? Giganotosaurus or Maposaurus? Maposaurus did. But like some earlier portrayals had Giganotosaurus hunt Maposaurus or hunt Argentinosaurus, but that's because the fossils that were found that belonged to Maposaurus were thought to be Giganotosaurus fossils. So it was incorrectly placed there. But Maposaurus is the one that lived alongside Argentinosaurus. And, it probably hunted it, but it probably went after like the younger individuals or the weaker individuals. I'm just a guy who loves sauropods and your videos. You have good taste, man. You have good taste. I should also pay attention to time. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to make this a short stream today, so I'm going to have to end it right here because I do need to start getting things ready for the podcast here in a little bit. So again, I apologize everybody for that accidental first stream. I genuinely didn't mean for that to happen. We're going to go live again this Thursday. We're going to be back on to like a regular set schedule. So expect to see another live next Thursday. We'll kind of sit down. We'll have a chat. That'll be a longer live. It'll be closer to like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I hope to see you guys there. But again, I do need to wrap things up over here. Plus, I need to make sure that everything is good in there, because again, I was just running around like a chicken with my head cut off a couple hours ago. So yeah, I will see all you guys later. Thank you for dropping by. It was awesome talking with everybody. And again, hope to see you guys this Thursday. Wild World, last minute. Thank you so much, dude, for the donation. I seriously appreciate it.